Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you really quick how I made this custom Grim Reaper's paint effects. This is actually blacklight reactive, so he has blacklight glowing teeth as well as green glow-in-the-dark paint. So let's get started. This is a black base instead of white. If any of you have watched some of my really old videos on making grime, this is a white base that I bleached and then I repainted all the black details, and I think he came out very creepy looking. I'm going to be trying to do the same thing with this, where I just sort of touch it up and repaint it to make it look a bit more grimy and more realistic looking. So right now it just sort of has some white flecking on the outsides and it sort of highlights the bone features. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape off the eyes so that the LEDs don't get covered over. I could just remove them, but I don't think it's necessary. What I'm planning on doing is I'll have to add the shading first, which is what I did with grime as well. With grime, I did the black eye sockets and the nose. For any portions that I wanted to leave the original color white, I did some Dawn dish soap first. So basically I coated this part and like the extremities here in soap, and then I painted it. And then as the paint dried, I wiped it off and the paint won't stick to the soap. So you can use that to your benefit. That's also how I did the teeth, is I coated the teeth in soap and then painted it. And it stuck to the gums because there was not any soap there. And then I was able to sort of smear and wipe it off the teeth. So then you're left with this gunky look. As far as the skull fractures go, these were detailed on the plastic mold originally, and I just used a Sharpie. So you can also use a Sharpie in this case. However, with this one, since it's a black or dark gray plastic color, I'm going to paint the eye sockets and the nose with the black, as I did with grime, just to really give them a deeper look and actually give it more depth, because right now his eye sockets don't actually look that far in. So I think if it has darker black, it'll look scarier. And then if I add the black details, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to try and do some sort of top glaze or shading, so I just lightly dust it from the top with like a white or a gray, and then hopefully give it more skull color. And then I'll also probably add on some glow-in-the-dark paint. I did that with this one as well. If you ever see some of my videos, like my Marley and Marley video features this animatronic as well as Thriller. And you can see that in between certain portions that the paint really glows. And it's actually because it glows in the dark. So I have black lights that'll shine on him, and then when they turn off, it glows. And in person, it definitely is a lot more of a detail that you can see. Alright, so here I have the skull. Prior to painting, you always want to try and remove any surface dust and just try and give the paint the best possible opportunity to stick. I'm gonna get a paper towel. This one's already a bit dirty. And then coat it with isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. This stuff works to remove hot glue and lots of just general debris and things. It's starting to turn more brown. And so this might also remove some paint, which is good to just remove it right now before you paint over the paint that's gonna come off anyway. That's now it should be ready for painting. Also, before painting, I added these little dabs of hot glue over the eyes. So these I can peel off hopefully after I'm done painting the black here, so that this way I don't have to pop out the LEDs, but also it should leave shading around them. If I were to have removed them, painted it, and then put them back in, they might look a bit out of place. I'm hoping this should give a nice effect that it'll still be shaded over the LED. You can remove them if you like. They're just held in with hot glue in the back here. So if you just remove the mouthpiece, you could go ahead and do that as well, but it's up to you. Alright, so here I've already gotten the skull taped down to a piece of cardboard. And it's probably good to note that January weather is not the best weather for painting, but it's not raining right now, so it should dry at least. And I've already been mixing up the can a bit. This is the one I use for shading. I also use this for my custom Jack Skellington mouth. It sticks well to plastic, and it provides a good black color because it doesn't reflect much. So it helps to improve it to look less like plastic. So you just want to make sure that you give it a good coat inside of the eye sockets. Make sure you don't leave any bits. And then the nose. And then when we go and do the rest of him, we'll make sure we sort of tape this off so it doesn't get infected with any white. I'm also gonna go and do a bit of dusting up here so that it gives his cheeks a bit more defined shadows. When this dries, it should look pretty good. Here's after the black has dried. In person, it looks a bit better, I think, than the camera views it. On camera, this looks a bit more reflective, but honestly, in person, it's very dark, and I can definitely tell it's better than the regular plastic look. So now what I've done is I've covered the spots that I definitely want to remain black. So right here in between his eyebrows, I think might get shaded in a bit more with white as I'm painting it. So I just went ahead and put a little tape there, and then I wanted to make sure the eye sockets and the nose part here really stays dark black. I'm still gonna try and do as best as I can with the shading to make sure that as I'm painting it, I don't really fill in all of these gaps, but we'll see how that goes. Another thing that I did is I used this ultraviolet glowing nail polish. I got this from the dollar store years ago. It's sort of an orangey cream color, and basically it glows in black light, but when you take it out of the black light, it's just a regular sort of yellowy orange. I went and painted it on his teeth in between layers, so that then if I'm shining a black light actively on him, you get the teeth grime look in addition to the green glow from the glow-in-the-dark paint, and when you take it away, his whole face just sort of glows. And in normal light, he's just sort of this gray. And you can see his teeth are slightly yellow, which sort of also gives a bit more depth in the paint. So I think that's definitely a good choice if you want to make him look more creepy in black light, where you can have this glowing teeth look. And then to wrap him up, I just did another couple layers of white and glow-in-the-dark paint. As you can see with the final product, I did take off the tape on his nose, so then you get a bit of glow on his nose, but for sure his eye sockets I left as all black. I also added some green shading just to sort of give him a mossy sort of statue look almost. I wanted him to be a bit more unique from my other props, since he already had the black base anyway. So I hope you all enjoy this video. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other videos on my channel.